Billy, do you want to give it a few more minutes or do you want to get started?
We can go ahead and get started.
Okay.
So this is the public meeting for Miranda Road Firehouse. I want to start off with some introductions. I'm Billy Pretzman. I'm the project manager for this project with the City of Charlotte. Chief Johnson.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Fire Chief Reginald Johnson.
Chief Winkles.
Good evening. This is Deputy Chief Jerry Winkles, Business Admin.
Chief Redden.
Blake Redden, Charlotte Fire Department Planning Division.
Kathleen.
Kathleen Seshak, City of Charlotte Facility.
And ADW.
Hi, I'm Ashley Love. I'm principal with ADW Architects and the project manager for this project.
Mike Newton, Director of Design with ADW Architects.
Alberto Torres, Project Architect.
Lydia Chapman, project assistant at ADW.
And just a quick overview of what the project is. The Miranda Road Firehouse is a 2-story, 3-bay firehouse that'll be located at 4032 Miranda Road. This location for the firehouse meets the City of Charlotte policy for sustainable facilities and the City of Charlotte Fire Department Facilities Master Plan. Chief Winkles, I'll turn it over to you for comments from the fire department.
Yes, good evening. So we're excited about the upcoming Miranda Road Fire Station at Beatties Ford Road. One of the things that the Charlotte Fire Department does is strive to maintain a appropriate distribution of all its firehouses throughout the 320 square miles that we serve. This assists us with our response criteria that we strive for, that meet both the that help us meet both the ISO Class 1 rating and also our accreditation. So with this addition of this firehouse, it'll hit an area around Miranda Road, and we look forward to working with the community and look forward to being partners with the community in the new firehouse.
Thank you, Chief Winkles. And now I'll turn it over to ADW and we can go ahead with the presentation.
Thanks, Billy. Just to let everyone know that if you do have a question, there is a question and answer chat box that should be pop up at the bottom or the top, depending upon which version of Zoom you may have that allows you to open up that Q&A box and ask a question. So if you have any questions, please put them there. But we'll go ahead and share some that inside. Yeah. As Billy mentioned, this is Firehouse for Miranda Road. It is approximately 14,600 square feet. There is a 2-story living portion that has day room, dining room, offices, and living spaces along with a locker room. 3 bays for apparatus in the center, and then on the other side of the apparatus bays is a 1-story portion for utility spaces and fitness. What we're showing here is a preliminary site plan for the fire station. As you can see, it's at the corner of Miranda Road and Beatties Ford Road. The fire station will front Beatties Ford Road. You can see an apparatus bay drive there where the apparatus will exit onto Beatties Ford Road, and then an entrance drive for both apparatus and personal vehicles and visitors off of Miranda Road. You can also see in the site plan that there are secured parking for staff, visitor parking up in the corner for visitors and close to the public entrance. And you'll be able to see the public entrance a little bit better as we move into our rendered images. There's also fueling on site and transformers, generator, dumpster enclosure. This project will also be going after LEED certification. So there are a number of items that this project has included that will work towards that. Some of the, you can only see really here, light colored paving, which will reduce heat island effect. We also have photovoltaic panels to go up on the roof. This project will use geothermal, so there'll be geothermal wells out on the site for the HVAC. There's also the native landscaping that will not require irrigation. And the project materials themselves will be some recycled materials, some low emitting materials, and then the systems within the building will be energy efficient in order to meet the city's sustainability goals. And one of those sustainability goals is to be a LEED certified project. So that's a broad overview of the site. We have some rendered images that are that Mike's gonna show us and all.
Yeah, so the first image here, this will be the front elevation facing Beatties Ford Road. If you notice that the public entry is actually mentioned, faces the corner of Beatties Ford and Miranda Road. The corner is kind of recessed there, welcoming to create a nice welcoming entry with canopy up above. Visitor parking will be off to the right, and this will be Miranda Road in the distance here. Materials we're using, a red brick, dark metal panels, and a red metal panel. And then pulling that red metal panel into the apparatus bay doors, which you see here off to the left. Signage and sun shading on the windows where necessary. Building takes on somewhat of a transitional design and feel. This will be another view of the apparatus bay here in the foreground. The red doors, the red metal panel with a vertical element to help celebrate the number of the fire station 46.
You can also see a kind of front porch element that'll connect both the public and the fire department.
So this would be looking more the rear of the station, see where the trucks would return in the rear here, into the apparatus bay doors in the back. Off to the left here, again, this is Miranda Road, Beatties Ford Road out back to the front. The training stair located next to visitor parking here. And just another view of that area with the training stair, visitor parking here in the foreground. And then I think one final shot here again from looking at that public entry corner in the foreground. Yeah. And then, like Ashley mentioned, several sustainable design elements, one of which featured in this view with the aerial showing the PV panels on the roof.
We also have an animation that will pull up.
This animation more or less walks around kind of the same path as those as the still shots, starting with elevations along Beatties Ford Road. Just gives you a better sense of scale and how the building starts to mass out. And the training stair, visitor parking on this side. And a view around to the rear where the trucks would return in the rear of the apparatus bay. Then overall, you get a good idea of the full build out of the site.
The project itself does not take up the entire site that is there. Actually, only about half of the site will be developed with this project, so leaving lots of the vegetation and landscaping that's already in place with the site.
Go back to the
Don't have any questions currently in the box. Billy, if you have additional statements or anything you'd like for us to look at?
No, I don't. Just if anyone has any questions, as mentioned before, you can type them in the box. Oh, one thing I would like to mention for schedule, we anticipate construction beginning in Q1 of 2025 and to have the fire station finished in Q1 of 2027.
We haven't received any questions.
Well, if we don't have any questions, I want to thank everyone who was able to hop on the meeting and go over the presentation with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Hold on, Billy, we may have a question. If you do have questions, you need to type them into that question and answer box.
So the project is going to serve as an infill facility to help alleviate high call volumes with surrounding stations. As far as cost, we're still early in the design process in advanced planning and design. And we'll need to get closer to 60% design before we can discuss the cost of the project. We have a question about the sound of the vehicles. I would assume this is for the fire trucks.
So Billy, myself or Chief Johnson can speak to that. Chief, I'll give you the option to go ahead.
Well, I guess the question is, are we referring to the siren use, which is required for us to travel safely and respond to calls? I'm not sure on the specifics there. I would assume that is the question itself. And we are required to do that when we're responding to emergency calls. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add there, Chief Winkles.
No, I was gonna mention that that would be the only difference in the normal traffic that would be in the Miranda Road and Beatty's Ford Road area.
Next question is, does the fire department need approval from the city to move forward with the project? What will that timeline look like? So fire department is a part of the city. And right now we're going through the design process. Once the design has gotten further along and we have a better understanding of the cost estimate, then we'll go forward with city council for approval on funding. In terms of the timeline, if the timeline holds true right now, construction ideally would begin in Q1 of 2025. And then the station would be finished in Q1 of 2027. The next I guess this is more of a statement. My mom lives beside the firehouse. The sound will wake her up consistently as you go in and out. As Chief Johnson mentioned, when fire trucks need to go out, they'll have to use their sirens. That's a requirement for them.
And Billy, we strive to be good neighbors, right? And so we can have some further discussion on that, but we are required to use sirens while responding. But we'll make every other effort to try to minimize the amount of noise with a lot of the other work that we need to do around the station.
Do we have any other questions?
That's fine, yeah. With this last question asked about having a conversation, if you've got additional questions, Billy's contact information is up on the screen with both his email and phone number. And if you have additional questions, you'll be able to contact him.
And Billy, do you want me or Chief Johnson to speak to the surrounding stations?
Yes, sir.
Chief, I'll give you the opportunity if you want to go ahead, sir.
You can go ahead, Chief Winkles. I'm still trying to sift through the questions.
Yes, sir. So one of the questions is what are the surrounding stations and what is an infill station? So with all the annexation that's occurring in that area of the city or the county into the city, one of the things that we strive for is the appropriate distribution of the stations, which I spoke to earlier. Essentially, what that means is we strive for every property to be within 5 miles of a firehouse. And so with the annexation that's occurring in that area, the need came up to add another station. So what an infill means is an additional station to one of our normal. Typically, it's a term that we use for something within surrounded by other stations. In this case, it's actually annexation that's driving this one. But as far as the other stations that are around there, from the city of Charlotte, we have Station 28, which is at Statesville, which is on Statesville. I apologize. And then further down Beatties Ford Road, we have Station 18, which is at Keller Drive near West Charlotte. And then obviously we have Station 25 and Station 22, I guess would be the nearest ones. Am I missing one? And so those would be the other stations that we have, 28 being the closest to that area.
We received another question. What happens with the LC Fire Department?
So Long Creek Fire Department will remain. There are still parts of the county that they are responsible for. And so that will not necessarily have an impact on the need for Long Creek, as long as there's parts of the county that fall within their still alarm response area. And Chief Winkles, you can add any more if needed.
No, don't have anything else on that, but Chief Redden actually had a good point, I guess, going back to the previous question is a lot of this is to maintain the equity of service throughout the department or throughout the city limits as we annex areas. But no, as far as the Long Creek, I don't have anything to add, Chief.
So for the recording, It'll be made available at the same location that you were able to get the link to log into this meeting. Ashley, when do you think I'll be able to get that from you?
We'll have it to you tomorrow or Monday and,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so I would say next week, we should be able to have it up online for anyone to be able to view. Do we have any more questions? All right, well, thank you everyone who was able to join for the meeting. And I'll let you get back to your evening.
Good.
Thank you.